Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Once again, we're having a look at another dev server Datamine because there was two updates to the dev server today, 0.46 and then 0.47. 0.47 seems to be a very small update though, there wasn't that many changes, so therefore we're not really going to go over it. It seems like they nerfed the Sturm again, but that's something that seems to happen quite a lot. Anyway, I would like to say once again thank you to Father Gentlespie for doing this. If you want to check out his other work, make sure to check the links in the description. It's always nice to have an asset like Gentlespie in the community because it means like we, as community members, can understand what is going on, so thank you to him. On top of this as well, I have 2 points of course before we get started. First of all, I missed a few things. So last time, for some reason, I just completely didn't talk about these things, and I don't know why I blanked them. But anyway, as you can see, in the 0.0.41 update to the dev server, the ZTZ96A had its ERA removed, the generic damage multiplier. So actually, it should be a little bit tougher now. The Flak Panzer Gepard, they changed the sight FOV to 30, which is lovely. And then the Fiat 6614, the gun limits for the recoil rifles were changed, and this is the big one. The CV90-120 received auto-load for its main weapon, and the gun limits were changed. They switched the 7.62mm machine gun for a 12.7 KSB M88MG, and the ammo replenishment time has increased from 7 to 10 seconds. Delay has also increased from 3 to 4 seconds. So that to me shows that this thing at least has an autoloader. From this point, when I first looked at the CV90-120, it did seem a little bit odd that it didn't have an autoloader because of just the general shape of the machine, and also how the hell do you fit in, you know, all of the stuff inside of it. It kind of reminded me of the A1A1L44. The loader in the A1L44 still doesn't fit in that thing. If you actually have a look at where he's sitting, he actually clips through the breech, showing that he doesn't actually fit in the turret. It's a very odd set, but it seems like the 9120, at least on the 0.41 side of things, does have an autoloader. This may change before, you know, of course, gets to the update, along with a few other things which seem a little bit odd, and also the IKV 103, the PVR BV 551, and the LVR BV 701 received neutral steering, which doesn't really, it isn't really a surprise, since these are all pretty much like APC-like vehicles with ATGMs on top, or, you know, SAM systems. To me, it was very odd they didn't have neutral steering, but it is nice that, you know, it's been added. So let's get into this stuff. Oh, after the other points of call. So the other one is this morning I woke up to around about 260, 270 messages on Discord. Now, normally when I wake up, I have around about 100, 110, around about that, and I spend about half an hour going through them, and that, you know, that's okay. It's nice to have a chat to people and everything like that, but the amount of people who were asking me, when is the update coming? When, you know, when is it out? Do you have any information? No, I don't. It's as simple as that. And also, the other thing is, it's really nice seeing that a lot of people are really looking forward to the update. But at the same time, remember last year that there was a decent set of the community, and also previous years, that, you know, hit Gaijin over the head with this idea that stuff was rushed. That, you know, there was bugs, large bugs, when it came to the updates being released, and a lot of people believing that these updates were released before they were ready. Well, we have confirmation over the last few days that, you know, they're working on some of the bugs to make sure that this is a very polished update, and I don't think, you know, we should hammer Gaijin with the idea that they should rush these things, because a lot of community members want to play the stuff now. So, you know, I know a lot of people are looking forward to this update, but also understand it would be much better if the patience wins, and we just wait and make sure that, you know, the update is in the best condition possible, so then when, you know, everybody gets it, it's in a wonderful position, therefore everybody can enjoy it. So patience needs to win out here. Just relax, you know. It's okay, everything's fine, you know, nothing's gone nuclear, just chill. I think is the message I'm trying to put out there. So anyway, let's get into these update notes. The first one is they've added a new loading screen background. There was some beautiful new loading screen backgrounds on the dev server. There was a few Swedish ones with the Drakens, and then of course some of the top tier Swedish stuff. The one that I think this is talking about is this one, because I don't think I've actually seen this one before. So this is a one which looks really, really nice. And as you can see, it's the CV90s, the STRF 90s, whatever they're called, and it's just really nice to see them. You know, you have obviously the normal one with just the 40, and then the other one with the 40 but also the radar on it. The loading screens are just beautiful. They're really, really nice. So once again, well done to the art team for that. Always nice to see them, you know, get a good nod. The next one is they've added new speeds to extinguish fire on an aircraft. So 1400, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 2000 kilometers per hour, and reduce the speed needed to extinguish the fire on 1100, 1200, and 2200. So they're just making it so there are more values in order to work out if a fire should be extinguished on an aircraft. More precision is always good. You know, this is something that we've been asking for a long time when it comes to certain mechanics, so it's nice to see it. The ERA FY4, so this is the ERA on the ZTZ96A. It's gone through tons of changes over the various dev servers, but this is another one. Cumulative armor quality has been reduced from 4.5 to 3. Generic armor quality reduced from 2.8 to 0.7. So it looks like after the last dev server updates where it got upgraded a lot, it's once again being brought back down again. So it's going to be interesting to see where it ends up. Seems to be a bit all over the place right now. Now, this is an interesting one. The A4B, they've actually added a second engine on the flight model. So, as Gentlespie says, pretty much its thrust got buffed, and how can someone mess that up? It even has one engine in real life. That is a really odd one, right? The fact is, when we have a look at the A4B, which is the Skyhawk, it's the new vehicle which is coming in for the Americans, the Douglas A4B Skyhawk. It does only have one engine. It has access, or at least the A4D model and the A4E model, one Pratt & Whitney J52 P6A turbojet engine. And I know all of them, every model only had one engine. So to see this thing have two seems a little bit odd to me, if I'm going to be putting it out there. I don't know whether it's for testing purposes, I don't know whether it's for other purposes, or what's going on with it, but it seems a little bit odd, if I'm honest with you. They even talk about in the dev blog, when they talk about the vehicle itself, if you have a look at it, they say the heart and the soul of the A4B Skyhawk is its Wright at J65W16A turbojet engine. So maybe it's just a mistake, or maybe they're testing stuff, who knows, anything is possible. The next point is the Lightning F6 got arrestor control, so obviously this is really good for the Lightning, you know, giving it a little bit more, once again, precision on the flight model. J35D, so the Draken, reduced overall elevator sensitivity, so reduced elevator angles from -25 to 25 to -25 to 18. This is good as well for the Draken. One of the major issues that was making it snap, or at least from when I was testing it, was when you pulled hard on the elevator, then it would have like a 2 or 3 second start where it would pull extremely hard, and then it would as if like come back to reality, but by that point your wings fallen off. Now this was kind of fixed on the second dev server, so hopefully this is just a push on to make it sure it's more fixed, if that makes sense. And also it's received a spin CI loss number of 0.03, 3. Oswald's efficiency number has been decreased to 0.4, slightly increased high altitude engine performance. So that'll be nice for it. You know, it's quite a high tier vehicle, and also since it doesn't have very good air-to-air missiles, you know, it has technically AIM-9Bs on it, or RB-24s I believe they're called for Sweden. It's going to need as much performance as possible to deal with some of those high flyers. The A4B received Rato boosters, so these are the boosters which are used to get off the ground. They're right now on stuff like the IL-28. The Kicker also has them, and it needs them. If you were on the dev server testing out the A4B, it takes ages to get off the ground. Like, it takes ages for that engine to just, you know, spool up and get going. So this Rato boosters will definitely give it, you know, a little bit of an oomph. Most new top jets received the fire extinguisher changes, so obviously this is good. You know, as we said, more precise. The Apache, the 30mm turret limit changes, that's good, because I was able to do some ridiculous things with that turret on the dev server, so hopefully that has that's been fixed. The H-64D, this is the top tier Apache for the Americans. The low Moore system modification has been added. Now, when I had a look at the Moore system, or the MAW system, it's a missile approach warning system, so it's pretty simple. I can read it out verbatim for you on Wikipedia. It's part of the avionics package on some military aircraft. A sensor detects attacking missiles. Its automatic warning cues the pilot to make a defensive maneuver and deploy the available countermeasures to disrupt missile tracking. So this just simply, for me, seems like an automatic system, which is going to be built into the game, just like we already have with flares and stuff, and I'm sure it's already in the game. I just, you know, I'm unsure about it. It's probably just a way to set off the automatic flares, and also to let people know, hey look, there's a missile coming for you, which obviously we have with some aircraft and some helicopters already. The next one, the F4E, EJ and FGR2, so the Phantoms, apart from the C, change cockpit head position slightly. Fair enough, we probably grew an inch, or, you know, we're smaller by an inch. Megami Cruiser and the Mikuma, so the new Premium and the Suzuya, received 25.4mm extra armor on the front of the turrets. This is lovely. You know, those machines are looking really nice for this update. Especially the premium one. Hopefully that means more people will play top tier Japan. Japan has some really fun destroyers, has some really fun heavy cruisers, so I hope more people get into them. The Kuma and the Sendai, though, they're losing a bunch of armor on their belt, decreased from 63.4 to 25.4. Ooh, that's rough. And then other sections are increased by 6.1mm. That's not enough to cover for that much lost on the belt, so they're going to be taking a lot more damage. But the Kako, big increase to fuel tank health and some ammo rack storage health, so, you know, it won't pop as easily. I'm sure the Graf Spee will still pop it, but, you know, maybe some other things won't be as so lucky. The Sionen, so this is the 3.3, 3.7, I can't remember what it is, little like gunboat the Japanese have. They fixed its hull stuff, or crew placement and hull damage in the last dev server, and hopefully you know, that stays the same, because before it was pretty much you know, unkillable. Now they have changed its guns from Type 3 120s to Type 10 120s, and they've also increased the yaw and pitch speed from 5 and 4 to 10 and 6.5. So these guns are a hell of a lot quicker than before, so that is a big difference for the Sionen, especially since that's its main armament. The main thing the Sionen still struggles with, though, is reload, and maybe if these guns change that and make the Sionen, you know, have a slightly better reload, that'll be a much bigger deal than just the yaw and pitch speed. The Belfast and the Battle Class, so the last destroyers in the British line, and obviously the HMS Belfast, the Premium, the 40mm Bofors gun limits have been changed, so it'll be interesting to see what that means. The Tiger Cruiser, so the HMS Tiger, which was around, I believe, for the Battlefield Engineer event. The Amarak health slightly decreased, and the 152mm cannon yaw and pitch speeds changed from 20 to 40 to 37 and 20 respectively. Okay, so, you know, they'll be slightly quicker one way, slightly slower the other, and the weapon limits have also been changed. Once again, more changes to the ZTZ-96A. The turret ERA kinetic protection nerfed from 120 to 75. Oh, Jesus. Cumulative protection nerfed from 400 to 250. Hull ERA added with 140mm kinetic and 450mm cumulative protections. Side turret ERA added with 50mm kinetic and 350mm cumulative. So we're going to have to see how much of a difference that makes. With the other changes, it's very hard to work out where the 96A right is in terms of protection. I still think it'll obviously be better than its counterpart, the 96, but we'll have to see when it hits live or another dev server to work out where it's actually at. The ZTZ96 is also getting some changes, so the turret side armor increased from 50 to 80, that's kind of nice, and the turret front decreased from 115 to 90, turret top decreased from 30 to 20, it's going to be mincemeat for a bunch of planes, but the turret front being decreased, it's not too bad. The ones on the sides I think is kind of nice though, 30mm, that means it'll be useful against a few more vehicles such as AA and stuff like that, so I think overall that's a buff, even though it doesn't really seem like it. The KPZ-70, the Leopard 1, received IR lamp, so that's beautiful, you know, even though it's pretty much a hit me thing in the game right now. If you turn on your IR lamp, it's still nice to see. The German M48 IR lamp fixed, nice. The Radpanzer, or the the Radkampf. Wait, what the hell is it called? Oh dear, I'm having an old moment right now. I even did the video earlier on it. The Radkampfwagen, there we go, the Radkampfwagen 90. The shells increased from 40 to 42, so not too much of a difference. I'd be surprised if I'm going to take more than 20 shells in that machine, if I'm quite honest. Every SPAA received aiming from bone gun B equals yes. So we're going to have to see what that is. Hopefully it means more accurate sights for the machines. Maybe we'll have to see, you know, as all of this works out. The CV90-105, so this is the premium, turret armor decreased from 20 to 6, and then I've added fabric armor on it, so rubber, so 6mm? 6? Jesus. And then when the 9120 gets the same, apart from the structural steel armor has been decreased. God, 6mm? Jeez, oh, that's going to be bad. The structural steel armor decreased from 12 to 5mm, added rubber fabric sheets, general sight FOV changes. 6mm is worse than that little Swedish, you know, little armored car with the rockets on top of it. The IKV-91 ammo increased from 56 to 59, received ready rack mechanics. I'm happy it gets ready rack mechanics. The fact that they gutted its engine in the last dev server kind of sucks, because I'm really looking forward to that machine. The Largo 1 received ready rack mechanics, good stuff. The LVKV-90, turret frontal armor reduced from 20 to 6, okay, so they're pretty much just doing it across the board to every CV90, apart from the STRF so far. Third, reverse gear ratio reduced a tiny bit, so this will mean its reverse speed is a little bit quicker, and the 40mm received an autoloader. Good stuff. The PVKV M43 1963 turret front armor decreased from 10mm to 5mm. I hope that thing gets reduced in BR. Right now it's 6.3. It's way too high for that machine, just like the STR-V74, they both need to be lowered. The STR-V103C, the turret back armor, increased from 15 to 20. It has a turret? It doesn't have a turret. I wonder, is that talking about the back of the machine? I mean, maybe? Who knows? We'll have to find out. The 121 and the 122, the cannon changed from L44 to 120mm can STR-V121 user cannon. The 121 received HEFS shells. Ooh, HE fin stabilized. I'm wondering if that's going to work like the Soviet shells. They're pretty fun. The 122, the backside and top of turret armor buffs, that's good. I'm guessing that that's going to be pretty resistant against top attacks from planes. The XM803 received an IR lamp, good stuff. The T-72B lost 40mm on the back of the turret. God damn it. I wonder if the T-72A is going to get the same treatment then. The T-80B lost its variable thickness armor. Armor quality increases. Good stuff. And the 120mm CTG L50 cannon rate of fire increased from 10 RPM to 12. I'm not sure what has that gun, but we'll have to see. It's obviously a 120, not sure about the CTG part. The Starstreak SAM and AAM changed. Max distance increased from 7 to 9.8 kilometers. The main issue with the Starstreak is because of the way that it works in game, it doesn't have a proximity fuse on it. So what happens is it has to hit the target in order to annihilate it, and it seems like there is server and client issues when it comes to actually, those things working. Generally, both have to match up in order to hit it. So a lot of the time, the Starstreaks just miss, which kind of sucks. So hopefully, with better, better ping or better servers or better, or less client-side issues, then the Starstreaks will become better. But I still think the Starstreaks have the highest skill ceiling in game. It's just there's a lot of stuff stopping them being incredibly good. The flare launchers changed, so the max delta angle decreased from 65 to 25, vertical angle from 15 to 5, so they shouldn't be fired out as far as they were before. The CXK from 4 to 8, start speed from 100 to 70 meters per second. So yeah, they've just made flares a lot worse than they were before. They should be a lot closer to the vehicle now after being hit. And the AIM-9Ds also received their own model. This is nice. Before they were obviously using a different one. So once again, more precision is always good. It's always nice to see these new models as well. When it comes to the game, they always look pretty nice. When it comes to, the way that they're built and everything like that. And then the next bit is the 2A42 for helicopter. Accuracy decreased from 0.08 to 0.14, with new weapon modification equipped from 0.24 to 0.11. So obviously being decreased there. That kind of sucks. That's actually quite a large difference, more than 50%. The Canon Giat Type 30 M781, the accuracy increased from 0.35 to 0.11, and then the M230E1, accuracy increased from 0.15 to 0.12, with new weapon modification from 0.2 to 0.08, so that's obviously the gun on the wonderful Apache. So those are the changes for 1.97.0.46, a lot of armor changes, which is why they always say, when it comes to the dev server, the armor values are one of the ones which get changed the most when it comes to the dev server. So always be skeptical when it comes to armor stuff. The things that generally don't change are normally the rounds when it comes to their penetration. But everything else is always subject to change. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I just want to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Blackie, Chris Giltnane, Daniel Stanton, Jay Wilt, John Ryman, Martinez, Super Cacti, Trigger Hippie, Eugens Terry, and also Elove Goat and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.